A customer should get in his vehicle, he should drive the vehicle, he should feel the difference. Otherwise, I wasted his money, personally. That's the way I think. I can't use this and say, but look here, this is how much more power your car is making, you must be happy. If you don't feel the difference in the chip, you don't feel it, then it's not worthwhile.
Hi guys, Anton here from Unichip Afrika, and today we're at Dustin here in Pretoria, and with me I've got Cornel. And Cornel, today we're putting a Unichip X Plus into a Prado.
Yes.
But first tell me, what is the difference between chipping, mapping, and where does Unichip fit into this whole chipping, mapping?
Yeah. So Unichip was truly one of the pioneers and probably the pioneer in the world of piggybacking. That means that we will connect to a vehicle, we can manipulate and change signals to get a better tune out of the vehicle, but we've also got the capability to always go back to a standard vehicle. So when a Unichip is unplugged or bridged out, the vehicle will be back to standard, and you can actually see the vehicle in standard form is all good and well.
So what are we actually doing today here? What does it entail when you fit a Unichip here at Dustin?
Okay, so basically the first steps that we will do is firstly see, is the vehicle where it should be in standard form. So the first step will typically be get the vehicle on a dynamometer, get the gas analyzers, boost gauges, everything that is that you need for the specific type of vehicle, get it on the vehicle so that you can measure. When you measure, you can know what you need to do, or you can know what is wrong or what is not wrong with the vehicle. So typically we will put the car on the dynamometer first, make sure that the standard figures, power figures, emissions, temperatures, everything corresponds well to a standard vehicle or all the other previous standard vehicles, in this case a Prado 3 liter. We can compare that to each and every car that's been on the dyno here and see that the standard car for one is running fine. There's like injector problems on some of these cars as they get older, and you tend to want to see first, is the standard vehicle not already in some state where the injectors actually need to have a replacement. So that will be the first step, is truly just make sure that the car is standard and it's performing like it should be. If there is something like a boost leak or something you don't want to go and tune on top of that, you will first want to handle the problem.
So today, I know that you guys are doing with the Unichip X Plus, you can either get a single map or a multi-map. With this Prado, we're putting on a multi-map. So what is the different maps that we can look at here for this vehicle?
So the perfect tune is perfect tune. So you can get away with a single map where the vehicle, when driven with your foot flat on the accelerator, we give you as much as possible safe power. When your foot is light on the throttle, you obviously want to have as light as possible on diesel or petrol, whatever the situation might be. And then in between these two regions, you would like to have something in between. So as you transfer from an area where you're trying to drive and be as light as possible on diesel, you want to move towards power. But what we can do with multiple maps is that we can focus one of these maps specifically on a power situation. Let's say you need to get out of some dunes and stuff like that. We can do a eco map where the focus on this map is more towards the economy of the whole thing, although we will still give you the capability to overtake a vehicle safely. And then stuff in between, like immobilizer maps. I mean, we are in South Africa, we do have problems with these things. So it's just a nice add-on just to help you save your car, and when you get back from the shopping center, it's still there.
So what risks are there if you install something like a Unichip or a chip, but specifically for Unichip? Are there risks for when you're installing this into your vehicle, and how do you guys avoid that?
Okay, so ultimately the Unichip is a tuning tool. If the wrong guy gets tuning on a vehicle, he turns the timing into the wrong position, he adds too much boost, he does anything that goes without or outside the perimeters of a good tune, you can screw the vehicle up. So ultimately, it's back 30 years ago. If you over tighten the screw on the carburetor and or you break off the bolt that keeps the distributor in place, there's still a problem. So it is a tuning tool. So what we do is in the 63 countries that we are, we've got a main distributor, because every vehicle is different and every country has got its own conditions and fuels. The main distributor is responsible for development on the map. So he does, or in our case, we will do a base map. It is a very safe tune. It is definitely better than the standard vehicle, but it is very safe. So if the dealer is in some area where he's not fully equipped, he will not be appointed by us for a start. He has to come for training, proper training, so that he actually knows how to use this tuning tool at the end of the day. And then we've got all the safeties in the vehicle is still in place. So if you were to push a perimeter on the vehicle too far, the standard ECU on the vehicle will say, but this is too far, and it will switch on the engine light. So it is ultimately that, so that we don't take safeties out of the way, so that the vehicle will always still protect itself as well. But as I say, fully tuned vehicle has to be done on the dynamometer, has to be measured. You have to know, you have to start with a good base map. And that gives you, at the end of the day, gives you a vehicle that is nicely well tuned, but not anything excessive.
And every vehicle that gets a Unichip installed here at Dustec will land on a dynamometer to make sure that the vehicle is tuned specifically for that vehicle.
We do each and every vehicle. We do a before run, we do the fitment of the Unichip, we do the live tuning, which happens, it's like a simulation of driving on the road. We tune throughout the range of the vehicle, and we do a final run to see how the end result looks like. But at the end of the day, every vehicle will go on. Purely that we need to know that it is standard, it is fine, and after the tuning it is fine. And although you can get away with new vehicles, if I had to have 100 new GD6s parked next to each other, you can probably get away with a map that you can just load onto the vehicle. But every now and then, even on new vehicles, we can see that because no two vehicles are the same, this one needs a little bit less, this one needs a little bit more. So if you really want to have optimized tuning, yes, every vehicle goes onto the dyno.
Well, let's go have a look what Albert can do to this D4D. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole process, and yeah, let's go have a look.
Let's enjoy that.
So Quinton, tell me, what are you guys going to do here now?
We are going to install the interface harness to be able to get our crank sensor data, rail pressure sensor data, and our map sensor data to be able to control boost and rail pressure and have RPM for our load.
Okay, then go ahead, and as you do it, just explain what you're doing,
All right.
please.
Okay, so basically we just start off by pressing the clips just to get the connector out. Then our harness will have a male and female side so that you can plug the car's standard harness into the connector and then back into the sensor so that no wires have to be cut or soldered in. So just busy loosening the two bolts for the Unichip's brackets so that it's mounted here on the standard brackets.
Okay, it's a typical Dustec Unichip installation. Typical customer wants a mobilizer map, he wants a towing map, he wants an economy map, he wants a bit more power. So start off by doing it beforehand, see what power the vehicle is making dead standard. So we've done our standard run. We're going to download a maps to the vehicle. This will be just start off maps. So the red line is the power the vehicle made with this specific run, before run dead standard, without a chip in. I'm aiming to reach the green line. That's what my aim is. The green line is a typical of about 150 of these vehicles I've done on this dyno. It only shows 123 brake horsepower on the wheels. I know the book say the engine is much stronger than that, but remember there's a lot of losses from the flywheel to the wheels, and this is an automatic vehicle as well, which I'm running in third gear, so there's slippage on the torque converter as well. And that's why the power will be much less than what a factory would state it's make on the engine. Okay. But something I just like to say as well, I believe that this is for me to measure my workmanship. Okay, I can't do nothing if I can't measure. To measure is to know in my game. At the end of the day, so this is. I'm going to give you the graph to show you how much how the power went up. But at the end of the day, your measurement is in your butt. If your butt doesn't tell you the vehicle is faster, it's not worthwhile. So. Standard, the burst is around about 1 bar. High RPM to start to drop off. Very low RPMs. The boost is a bit less, and then the higher RPMs go, boost it will get stuck on 1 bar. I'm going to try and increase the burst to about 1.2, 1.3 bar maybe. FE ratio standard. At 3000 RPMs it's around about 17 FE ratio. That's dead standard. We're going to try and keep the FE ratio the same. Kyk wat jy doen. Ja. Okay. So ek wou net probeer het of hy praat sodat ek kan interrupt. Ekskuus. Ek wou net geweet het of hy praat sodat ek kan interrupt. Okay, so terwyl jy daar besig is, praat bietjie en vertel vir my wat doen jy daar in Engels dan? Okay. So this is a automatic vehicle, so it's quite difficult to drive the vehicle at 1500 RPM fit flat. It will kick back a gear. So I'm going to start where I can. So with the red pot, I will adjust the boost. With the blue pot, I will adjust the fueling. Whenever there's a negative number in the map, I'm making the boost more. There's a negative number in the fueling, I will make the fueling richer. So, if you look at the power, there's negative numbers in the map at the moment. The power shows 65. I'll put zeros in the map. 56. Okay, and then as I increase the rail pressure, you will see the power goes up. And this side you will also see the aeration meter gets richer. Okay, so standard. If you drive the vehicle around about 100 km an hour, top gear, and you floor it, it kicks back a gear. So I'm going to try and prevent it from kicking back a gear. There. Now I can drive it foot flat and it will just stay at 2,500 RPMs. There it kicks back again. There. It will just stay there. So that was my echo map, which is the same amount of power almost than the power map, just with the gear control. And then I've got a towing map or daily map, which have a little bit less power. So this is a standard map. I just want to double check everything quickly against different RPMs, different load sites. So 17 F ratio, 1 bar boost in the standard map. My echo economy map, F ratio is still the same, boost is a little bit higher. My power map, boost is even higher, F ratio is almost the same. At 3000 RPMs, standard map, F ratio about 17, boost 1 bar, echo map, boost just over 1 bar, F ratio still the same, power map, F ratio slightly higher and boost slightly higher.
So Cornel, they did the whole thing now with the Prado, and I have to say we took it for a test drive. It is really performing much better. I mean, the client is ecstatic. But listen, just coming back to the whole immobilizer section, because that really tweaked my interest when Albert was explaining it. Tell me a little bit more. How does this immobilizer that you can actually program onto the Unichip, what can you actually do with it? Because we have a big problem with Toyotas and everything getting stolen here in South Africa. So can you guys give us a little bit of better chance of keeping our vehicles in the garage?
Yeah, so there's a few things about anti-theft that we believe. One of the things is you have to waste time if it comes to a thief. If he's in the process of stealing your car and the car wouldn't start, they will get a way around it. If he gets the car to start, he gets to a point where the car actually is running and only then realizes that the car won't go. it seems to be the magic formula. And what happened is we've been doing immobilizer maps for quite a long time, but never focused on it. But what happened is, as the problem grew over the years, we found Toyota vehicles in a shopping center. It was stolen, and 50 meters away from there's the first speed bump, and the thief couldn't get over the speed bump because the car is purely in an anti-theft state. So it's physically just idling, and we realized that this is a game changer, because it changes the idea of anti-theft from the vehicle not being able to start to a point where the thief cannot get away, and they tend to not want to expose themselves beyond that point. So what we see is they will try and get out of the parking, realize that the vehicle is only in an idle state, and by that time he's exposed and he's getting too much attention, and they tend to run. I mean, we found a lot of these things. So, but we believe in keeping it customized. So my customer will walk in here and I will tell him, what sequence of buttons would you like to push? What would you like to do for the vehicle to get out of your idle state? So we can do a mixture of things. So we can have a specific button on the car combined with a safety belt that is on, combined with a door that might not be closed yet.
3 flashes of your brights and
3 flashes of your brights.
2 honks of the hood to turn.
Something like that. And that will give you something very unique that they cannot figure out. Yes, given time, you might get around it. But do they have time? Do they have 10 minutes to try and figure out what sequence of what you have to do to get this vehicle to drive again? They don't. And that's what we believe is the solution to this. Expose them, waste their time, they will run.
Well, I know that in this Prado we did install a immobilizer map now, which if you've got a vehicle in South Africa and you don't have this system, you're basically saying, come and take my car. I mean, it is an incredible and intuitive, simple thing that you guys have brought into the system, and it just makes your Unichip that little bit more special.
That's it.
And
That's it.
yeah,
It can be added to a tuning package. It can be done on its own. So for the customer that really doesn't want extra power, he's dead happy with what he's got, we can do it as a standalone system on its own that only does the immobilization for him. But yes, it's an added bonus for the average guy that wants a bit more power and a bit more playtime. And it's a